Hello, beautiful soul. Hello, and welcome to Self Love Friday. As always, coming to you live from my couch. Welcome, welcome. This weekly show is dedicated to the practice of self love and to discovering what self love really is. Over the past few weeks, I'm sharing the pillars of self love in my work. And we've covered last week, self-love is vulnerability. The week before that, self-love being self-discipline. And this week, I want to speak about something that I haven't discussed, is trust. So that might sound crazy. I'm going to quote somebody here. I like using quotes. And this quote goes like this. I know myself. Know in the comments. I'll tell you later who said it. But in the meantime, you get to trust. You get to trust people. You get to trust situations from a state of self-love. That does sound crazy, doesn't it? So let's dig deeper into that. So think about when you meet somebody that you really like. It might be somebody that could potentially be a friend, they could potentially be a business partner, they could even be a love interest. But you meet them and you like them. There's a connection and you think, yes, I like this person. I want them in my life. So what do we do normally? The natural response is basically a completely clean blackboard with no marks, no previous markings, and they get to tell us who they are. And we get to know them. And we take time to know them, what beliefs are, what drives them to certain situations. And the more we know them, the more we're able to trust them. So many researchers and writers in this field have said that trust and love go hand in hand. For authentic love to be present, and that without real trust, love can't blossom. Well, I agree with them. I agree with everyone who's ever said that. I absolutely think that love and trust go hand in hand. However, I don't see trust as belonging with the other person. I see it as sitting internally, and I'll get to more of that. Let's get back to the scenario where you've met this person and you're giving them the benefit of the doubt and you're getting to know them. And the more you get to know them, the more trustful. For example, I know that when Cornelius, my husband, gets injured or something frustrates him, like if he like kicks himself and hurts himself, or something really frustrates him, he uses some really prized foul language, and that's his way of expressing himself. There might be people who don't like that, but anyone who knows that about him trusts that 9 times out of 10, in that kind of scenario, with that kind of trigger at play, that's how the stimulus is going to be. That's trust. When you know what drives them, it means that you can trust. It doesn't imply that you automatically like everything. So how does this then translate back to that? The more we love ourselves, the more we need. True love means giving ourselves space to be known. True love means taking the time to get to know who we really are. What are my core beliefs? What are my driving values? What moves me forward in life? What gets me out of bed every morning? And then to dig beyond that and see, what do I respond positively to? What do I respond negatively to? What are my triggers? Really get to know myself in the name of self-love. If I love myself, I'm going to get to know myself. Then I can truly trust myself. I know what my triggers are. I can trust myself. Because that if I kick my foot, I'm more than likely also going to release some prize language. And I can trust that's the truth. I also know if I see a puppy running free on the side of the road, I'm going to find a safe spot to pull over and see if that puppy is lost, if it's injured, if it needs my help, if its owner is nearby, get involved. I know that about myself. I trust that about myself. I know that in a situation where I am being, where I feel that my boundaries are being compromised, where I feel that my values are being compromised, where I feel that I can't be a part of that situation anymore because it doesn't align with me, who I am, and what my core beliefs are, I trust myself to take the right action for me. I'm going to give you an example, a personal example. A number of years ago, a friend of mine, an ex-colleague and friend, invited me to join her in her business. The offer was initially to come in a sales role, attracting the right type of clients to the business, and then building relationships, growing out of a primarily sales role into a client services management position, and with the offer of within a year have shares in the business, and along the way commission earnings. So this was great. And so when I first started, I got really involved, and as is my nature, I rolled my sleeves up, got involved on every level. There were so many things that she needed my support and assistance with. That said, the role did develop. I did attract the right clients, and I did start building and nurturing a position. Unfortunately, it didn't come with any change in my own. Unfortunately, neither were the profit shares. So that was all in the first year. And of course, it came to the end of 1 year, and I chose to review it because, unfortunately, also she was inclined to sort of shy away from situations that she didn't want to handle, or felt like she couldn't cope with handling. So I raised it. Promises were made, months went past, it was discussed again, more promises were made. Basically, for a number of years, there was a golden carrot dangling in front of me, and I never got to it. Not increasing the turnover, doing everything that I had said that I would do, which for me is a very big part of trusting myself. Everything that I say I will do, I do. And the benefit of the doubt. How that affected me is, all that had happened is that I knew myself better. I understood that I could trust myself even more because I had come up for myself. I had made a decision to support myself and my growth and my movement forward. I had learned it in the time. I had definitely not lost anything. And I got to know her better in that I understood her nature better. And did that change my levels of trust? Not at all, because I knew what to expect from her. Did it change me going out into the world in a state of her that I can be trusted? And this brings me to the crux of my point. Hello, Cherise. I'm just going to stop and greet Cherise. Thank you, thank you. As soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. Oh, wow, that's profound, Cherise. Yes, indeed. The way that your comments have just introed the crux of the point that I'm going to make. The reason why I say is that any situation you find yourself that you're interacting with, you are part of that equation. You make up 50% of that exchange. And if you know yourself and you can trust yourself, then you can trust that situation because you are there. Therefore, you're affecting that. And as Cherise said, you have to trust. Without trust, there can be no love and belonging. And without trust, those two things cannot be. They cannot exist. So that brings me back to my crazy statement that self-love will bring you to a place where you can trust life. I'm not saying being foolhardy. I'm not saying that, a guy that's been proven as a scam artist comes along and says, here you go, join my scam, and you know it's a scam. And you go, okay, John, what a great idea. Here's my life savings. I'm not saying that at all. That's not trust. What I'm saying is, therefore, you know and love yourself enough to trust yourself, to be true to yourself in that moment. You trust the information that you've received, so you make the right decision for yourself. No, thank you, John. Back with that. No, thank you. You were part of that equation. You get to continue trusting and being trustworthy. Trust myself. Anyone who's watching, do we have a guess? By the way, I really, really love it when you're on here and you comment and ask questions. It really keeps the conversation going. And I love the challenge. I love the challenge of a question. You know, push me, challenge me on what I'm saying if you feel that you want to. And thank you for your support when you offer it. Sharice, I really appreciated your comments. So I'm going to tell you whose quote that is. It's me. That is Diana Grant. I know my face. I'll keep you posted. Called Trust Me Beautiful. And it is all about the process of trust. Trusting yourself, trusting life, trusting the process. Trust. Self-love is trust. So what am I saying here today in the shell of a nut? Get to know yourself. Invest the time that you would invest in anybody else, in yourself. Get to know yourself better than you know anything else or anyone else in this life. And as you do, learn how to trust yourself. Because once you trust yourself, you can afford to share what the outcomes, well, predict the outcomes a little bit better. And when you can't predict the outcomes at all, you can certainly predict your own response when you really know and love yourself. So invest in yourself. When you know, with your life, live in a state of trust and love, and you will stand strong, and you will weather whatever life brings your way. And you will not just weather it, you will take it with a smile on your face, you will be fulfilled, and you will live a life of joy. So, as always, I'm going to close with love yourself enough to trust. Hello, Erin. Thank you for being here. Trust really is a choice. It does not just happen. You choose to trust yourself and others or not to. Yes, Erin, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's basically what I'm saying here is that I believe that choice is well worth it. To live in a state of love, fear robs us of joy, it creates anxiety. So if we're choosing not to trust, what are we saying about ourselves? What are we saying about what we bring into the exchange? If we're choosing not to trust, find reasons to trust yourself and live in a state of trust. I believe trust is a state of being. And as you say, Erin, a choice. And as you say, Sharice, the glue of life. That is for sure. That is for sure. And the more we trust ourselves, the more we can trust what we will bring to any scenario. And once we know what we bring into a scenario, that makes us safe in the world. Erin says, 100%, I've experienced that a lot recently. It is a better life to choose trust. Absolutely, Erin. That feeling of freedom, you've just reminded me of a very important point that I want to say. Ultimately, it brings personal freedom. You're empowering yourself to say, I choose to trust life. I choose to trust the people around me based on what I know about them, because I choose to trust myself. How empowering is that? I was able to leave that behavior of shying away from difficult conversations, the behavior of making promises and not keeping them. I left that with that person. It wasn't mine to pick up and carry. I wasn't a victim. I got up and I said, okay, this situation doesn't work for me anymore. I'm going to walk away. I'm going to trust myself to make the right decision for me. I have to be a victim. When you choose trust, and when you choose trust, you choose love. So thank you all. Thank you so much for being here. Erin, Sharice, it was wonderful to interact with you. Thank you very much. And as always, I love to end with a little challenge. So this week, going into this next week before the next Self-Love Friday, I'm going to challenge you to try and find ways the trust you have for the process and people in your life. See how it goes, and do let me know. I'm doing it at the moment, and it ties in with last week's to the people, the colleagues in my circle. And what I'm learning is it's safe to do so because I trust me. And what I'm getting back is levels of trust from other people for me as well. So it's a really great exchange. So I challenge you to give it a go. Let me know how it goes and have a really, really beautiful week, getting to know yourself better, getting to love yourself better. Lots of love. Have a beautiful week. Thanks. See you next week. Bye.